Seems like Black Panther is heating up. We may now know the exact release window for the upcoming sequel, but more importantly, producer Nate Moore has chimed in on the rumors and the story, and that's where the real news is. So let's take a couple minutes to talk Wakanda, what's going on with Black Panther 3, and what those in the know are saying. Well, if you guys remember correctly, way back in 2018 when Black Panther came out, it was met with widespread critical acclaim. The movie itself was a lot of fun, and minus a couple of CG issues in that final battle, it was one of Marvel Studios' better movies. Now, sadly, T'Challa actor Chadwick Boseman died in 2020 after his hard-fought but secret battle with cancer. Now, what Marvel Studios decided to do is instead of putting him back up on the shelf or just recasting the character, they actually went with the idea that T'Challa, after returning from the blip, passes away and the mantle goes to his sister Shuri. Now, Wakanda Forever was a lot of fun, and we did get to see Shuri not only take up the mantle, but we were introduced to Namor the Submariner. Now, we do know that Letitia Wright is confirmed to reprise her role as the Black Panther in Avengers Doomsday, but there has been a lot of interesting news surrounding a possible variant in Secret Wars. Now, beyond that, very little is confirmed. We do know Ryan Coogler is set to direct the movie, and Denzel Washington has confirmed he will indeed be part of the threequel. But now we've got two additional details that kind of bring it a little more into the light. The first is from Daniel Rickman, and the second one is from Marvel producer Nate Moore. So we're going to talk about Rickman's report first. Now, Rickman is a scooper, so we always like to say this isn't from Marvel Studios, Kevin Feige, or in the case of Black Panther, Nate Moore. So we're taking it with a grain of salt. Now, what he is reporting is a Black Panther will hit theaters in February of 2028, meaning this film will indeed be post-Secret Wars, and likely set in the new Marvel Universe. Now, whether this means it's part of the Mutant Saga or whatever they're calling it after the fact, it is good to know Black Panther will live on inside the MCU. Now, this release window isn't confirmed, but we did get some more information from Nate Moore that kind of gave some insight into what's going on, because as you would expect, their path forward is not very clear. Now, in case you don't know who Nate Moore is, he has been a longtime Marvel producer and at the forefront of developing the Black Panther. Additionally, he's the guy who's bringing us Eyes of Wakanda, so he has been front and center developing this particular character from day one alongside Ryan Coogler. He is definitely in the know. Now, recently, when he was addressing Black Panther 3, he said, "We're still figuring out exactly what the next Avengers is going to be, so we haven't had any real story conversation. I know there's been a lot of chatter online about casting and villains. None of that's true. We just haven't gotten there yet, to be honest. But I'm very excited to start those conversations, hopefully this year." We don't know what the story is, so I couldn't tell you whether or not we're open to recasting. It certainly wasn't our instinct for Wakanda Forever. I'll never say never to anything, but it's too early to talk about any of that stuff. We have to figure out what the story is going to be. Now, this is the way Marvel Studios really should be doing things. A lot of projects get put into production and they don't seem to consider what's going on with other projects. And it's almost no way to make a post-Secret Wars movie without reflecting back on what's going to happen in these two Avengers movies. Now, it does sound like to me that Nate Moore is open to the idea of recasting, but he's going to allow the story that's coming our way in these two films kind of dictate those actions. Honestly, story-driven changes are well accepted by fans, and if it makes sense for the story, very rarely do fans reject the idea. It's only when things feel a little ham-fisted or unnecessary, change for the sake of change, that really gets pushed back and rejected by fans. And honestly, changing who holds the mantle of any character is often very difficult in this genre. So ping-ponging from Chadwick Boseman to Letitia Wright and then back to somebody else might not actually be the best move for Black Panther 3. Now, he also said none of the casting rumors were confirmed, or the villains, and we have heard some details about one potential villain, but I don't consider the Denzel Washington news a rumor. Washington himself not only confirmed the casting, but he publicly apologized for revealing it, suggesting to me that is indeed 100% true. Now, what Black Panther shapes up to be, well, like Nate Moore said, they haven't even started working on the story yet, so it would be absolutely silly to speculate. With that said, I think this movie is super important to Marvel. The first film landed in such a way, unlike any other superhero movie before it, that the legacy of the Black Panther is as important as his future in the MCU. And whatever they do next with the character, whether it's continue with Letitia Wright, recast T'Challa from a multiverse variant, or whatever the post-Secret Wars world looks like, the Black Panther is going to be part of it, and he's going to be important. How all this works out, well, we're going to have to wait and see. Now before you take off though, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button and ring the bell for all the updates. We do daily videos and we want to be your place for all the Marvel and DC news, but we're going to bring it to you truthfully and transparently so you're really in the know.